Recently, I made a video about how to reach your dreams, but the video was kind of long. It ended up being half an hour, and I know you guys don't have that attention span, so I cut off a good chunk of talking out of that video, like 10 minutes, and I put them here as a separate video because I kind of went off topic and I talked about my future plans rather than how to reach your dreams. So here's a video on my future plans, near future, like I'm gonna reach these within the next few years. They're not far away. Let's go. So, if you've ever been to a convention, you would probably have seen these artist stalls that sell keychains and buttons and art prints and all of that stuff. And whenever I see that, it inspires me to do more art, but I also feel like doing a stand like this myself one day. And before I do a stand, I would recommend starting with selling online. That's just a lot less investment. For a stand, you often have to pay hundreds of bucks for a stand fee, and then if you don't make that money back in, you lost a lot of money. Also, for a stand, you will have to make all of that art and merch. All of the products, you will have to manufacture them beforehand. You have to make like 100 copies of each keychain to put them out there to make sure you have enough stuff to sell to people if they're interested. But if no one buys that, then you bought 100 pieces of each of your keychains for nothing. It's a major investment. So if you're a beginner, don't start by doing a stall. Start online. See how many people are interested in your art. Try selling online. If that goes well, you can consider making a stand one day. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm currently working on keychains. I haven't sold anything just yet, since I'm in the starting line, but I'm working on keychains. I have already found my manufacturer, and I will try to sell them online. And the difference with online is, depending on where and what you sell, you can make it a pre-order, so the people pay you before you manufacture the item. Once they've paid, you use that money to make the item and to ship it out, and that way you're safe. That way you didn't make 100 copies that don't get sold, because you only made the copies that were actually bought. It can be hard in the starting line to find people to buy your stuff, especially if you're small on social media or if you don't post at all. Like, I'm gonna be honest, if you don't have any social media at all, I don't know how you plan to find your customers. It might still work. If you do an Etsy shop, people will still find you on Etsy and buy your stuff if they're interested, but having an audience, having followers will skyrocket that experience. And even though I talk about social media the whole time, I'm still too small to have that kind of audience. Because you have to remember, even if you have thousands of followers, a lot of them might be minors, a lot of them might be poor. There aren't a lot of people out there who can give you money, and also there might not be a lot of people who are interested in buying your stuff. So it's a slow start. I would say as long as you don't lose a lot of money by trying to do this, go for it. Like, find an online shop where you don't have monthly fees. Monthly fees are a pain in the ass if you don't make a lot of sales. And if you're just starting out and you don't even know if anyone will buy, then paying monthly for something like that is not the way to go. Find a way to sell them that doesn't involve a lot of fees. And if it goes well, you can go from there. And if it doesn't go well, you just wait for it. Make more stuff. Make different stuff. Put it up there. And I assure you, at least one of your things will be of interest to someone. Sewing and making fashion. I mentioned that I want to make fashion, Lolita and Oiji fashion specifically. Sewing is also the kind of thing where you just gotta start out small and then you get there. I wasn't very confident in my sewing skills. I just made some cosplays and I just make them for myself, so the quality can be low because I'm my own critic and I don't care about quality if I made the thing myself. But then I started making cosplays for friends, and then I started to care about quality because I don't want them to put on trash. And this year was the first time I did lining, because I made a jacket for a friend and they needed white lining in a black jacket. I was always intimidated by making lining because it's the inside and the inverted side of your fabric, and then you have to somehow put it together, and then in the end there shouldn't be any open seams. I was just puzzled by it. I didn't know how to do that and I thought it would be super complicated. But then I sat there at my friend's place, sewing that jacket, and it was time to put in the lining. And suddenly, I got it. I suddenly understood how to do it, and it's so easy compared to what I was thinking. It's not that hard. And ever since I did that lining, I now feel like if I just practice a little more, I can make genuine clothing pieces that can be sold. Like, I can make things that I don't need to be embarrassed about anymore. My stuff that I make for myself never has lining, and that's fine for me because you only see my stuff from the outside. But I can't sell something like that because anyone who owns the thing will see it from the inside and see how trashy it looks. But now that I know how to do lining, I can hide the trash under the carpet. I can finally make stuff that I can be proud of, and that I can show to people, and that I can give to people. So, I've been sketching up a few designs, and I plan to make fashion like this and to sell it. That's another dream that I've had for a long time and that I'm now finally coming to. The video has kind of an open end, because as I said, it was cut out of another video, so this is the end. These are my plans. There will be more in the future, but let me reach these first.